Hey guys, it's FSgt Covaci here. I'm going to be taking part of the 540 Golden Hawks paper airplane making contest for the ground school guys. I have been part of ground school for 2 years now. I'm currently in the phase of getting my glider license and hopefully pursuing my power for the year upcoming after.
Hello everyone, my name is Flight Surgeon Chen and I joined ground school in 2019 and was supposed to go on glider this summer, so today I'm going to be making the flying tube.
Hi, I'm Flight Sgt Zhang from 540 Golden Hawk Squadron based in Oakville, and today we're going to be doing the paper airplane challenge. So I was accepted into the glider pilot training course this summer. Unfortunately that was cancelled due to the coronavirus situation. Hopefully I will go to the course again next year. I'm going to be reapplying and I'm looking forward to that.
Hello 540 Squadron, I'm Sgt Boldt and I have been a 540 cadet for 4 years. So, in my opinion, the ground school is one of the most intensive and challenging teams at 540.
Hi, I'm Sgt Boldt, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate why my paper airplane is the best and why it's going to fly the farthest. Because for this challenge, I used my experience from 540 ground school and the advanced aviation course which I took last summer, and I know that out of all the ground school contestants, I put in the most research and development into my project.
Hey guys, I'm WO2 Donohoe and I am confident that I'm going to win this competition. I've only made like 1 or 2 of these before, but I think that my ground school experience and my glider license will be enough to win.
My name is Warrant Officer 2nd Class He, and my interest in aviation started when I was 12 years old and I went on my first glider flight. I was amazed how cadets could fly their own planes. So 2 years ago I joined ground school, and last year I went on the glider pilot training course and got my license. This year I was accepted to the power pilot training course. However, I will be applying again next year.
Today I'm going to be constructing the Schweitzer 233, which is your typical cadet glider. Its glide ratio could be a bit improved, so I was going to try to design a paper airplane that hopefully can match up or surpass its glide ratio.
And the paper airplane I'm choosing to make is the one that set the world record for distance. And I remember first discovering this plane back in grade 6 or 7 when I was part of a paper airplane challenge, and I made it and it flew really well, so I'm planning to do that again.
So this particular airplane, not this one, but the design, has been used to set the world record for distancing. The center of gravity, number 8, which I pointed, is ahead of the center of lift, the wings. And so this makes the airplane's nose go down, which makes the airplane need more airflow so that it can continue flying, and makes a better stability.
My paper airplane is modeled after the Canadian CF-105 Avro Aero. It has a monocoque type fuselage, so the skin bears the weight. There's no need for a truss inside the plane, which reduces weight. It also has delta wings, as you can see, which is good for high and low speeds, and that's really important as this paper airplane is powered by an SD's B64 rocket engine.
So one very important thing to keep in mind when building a paper airplane is how you're going to keep the aircraft stable. So one thing that I plan on incorporating in my design is something called winglets. So those are little wing-like structures that attach to the edges of the wings, and they'll help increase the lift, keep it in the air longer, as well as increase the stability of the airplane.
So the plane I'm going to be making today is a walk-along glider. So it uses the same principle as birds. If you have ever seen a bird fly for a long time without flapping its wings, it's because it's using warm columns of air called thermals to stay aloft. Because warm air rises, the birds are able to stay up for longer. However, for my plane, I'm not going to be able to use warm air. Instead, I have cardboard, which I will angle like this so the air can travel upwards and my plane will be able to stay aloft. It's technically not cheating because there are no rules.
This airplane traveled a total of 7.5 meters.
Oh, okay, 2.25 meters.
So that did not go out as planned. Didn't fly as far as I thought it would. The airframe took just a bit of damage, just a bit. We could always use some tape to fix it. Yeah, I mean, hey, at least I got the snazzy design here. I think I'll just stick to simulations instead.
So to be honest, I think that went pretty well. I mean, it's a tube, so I didn't expect it to go that far anyways. However, it went 7.5 meters, which is pretty good to me. What I could do better in the future is maybe take a bit more time while making this. It's pretty uneven and the cuts are also uneven, and it doesn't really look like a tube. It kind of looks like a deformed square. But in the future, maybe I could take a bit more time to put better care into this, and maybe that'll give me a better result.
So I actually think the test went pretty well. It flew 24.5 meters, which is a pretty respectable distance, I think. If I were to do this experiment again, I think I would pay more attention to the small details, because it's the small details that make the small changes, that like reducing drag, that make the airplane fly farther. And I know that the plane I made has the potential to go much farther in better conditions and with, of course, more attention to detail.
So the glider flew 20 paces, which is about 40 feet. And yes, I count using my paces. The only mistake I really made when I was doing this glider is I didn't account for the surface area of the wing and the amount of lift it produces. And because of that, it constantly gains bank, and because one wing is like a millimeter bigger than the other, the glider begins to churn as it gains altitude. And the more power, the more force you give the glider when you throw it, the more pronounced is the churn. So next time I would account for that.
Two of the problems with this plane, or three, were that when it was being launched, the way it was sitting on the launch pad with the rod inside the plane, it was caught on the right. So when the plane went forward and launched off the launch pad, it pulled to the left and then had to correct itself, which made it go into a roll. It worked so well that the plane ended up launching the rocket engine out the back when the charge went off. So the plane still worked really well, but next time those are two things I would work on to make this plane fly even better than it did.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't expecting my plane to be that bad. I thought it would go at least like 5 meters or so. But I look back in the FGU, and apparently the winglets that I included, those are only used for larger, heavier aircraft. You're not supposed to put them on smaller aircraft like paper airplanes. So next time I'll make sure to read all the details before I include design features, and hopefully it will go better.
So I think my airplane did pretty well for what I had today. It went slightly more than 5 meters. So this airplane has been known to go an infinite amount of distance because it uses artificial lift, and it doesn't just glide down. So if I were to do this again, I would build it out of more lightweight material like foam, so it would descend slower. So I hope you learned something new today, and thank you for watching.